In week 5 of PHI 103, there is one discussion, a journal assignment, a final exam, and a final project. In this week, if you go to the week, you will see the scenario, the resources for the week, and an overview of the week. Again, the readings for the week are listed below here. These readings are not the entire books in relation to all of these. This is the final project assignment, and I'll get to that in a second. We've got some articles here, multimedia, etc. Okay, the first thing I'd like to go over is the discussion. So this week, in the discussion, you will create an argument in relation to a human rights issue that is of interest to you. In order to get your mind flowing and on the right track here, we've included some multimedia pieces, some documentaries basically about child slave labor in Tanzania and women's rights, as well as just children's rights in general. Okay, so what you need to do here is you need to choose an issue in relation to human rights and present an argument, your strongest argument, to support your conclusion. Be sure to clearly demarcate your premises and your conclusion and demonstrate why you believe that your argument is either strong or weak if it's inductive, why it is valid and sound if it is deductive. The journal assignment for the week can be completed early on in the week, and I recommend that you do so. So what it says is, reflect on what you've learned in the course and answer the questions below. How might following a structured approach to creating sound and strong arguments impact your life? How have you begun to use logic as a tool for improving your everyday life? And what are your future goals for changing your critical thinking and reasoning skills as a result of what you have learned in this course? So again, the grading rubric is here. Just reflect on these questions and write your response and submit it to Waypoint early on in the week. The final exam is a 50-question true, false, and multiple choice exam that covers the topics from the course. It covers both the logical topics from the course as well as the readings and media topics from the course. You have 3 hours to complete the exam, and you will have 1 attempt. So be sure to have everything ready and to have studied beforehand before taking the final exam. And finally, the final project. The final project this week is the analysis of an argument that comes from a chosen reading. So in order to get to the readings for the week, choose final project argument options. This will take you to a document that has all the readings that you can choose from. You'll see the names of the articles here. All Animals Are Equal by Peter Singer, Wealth of Nations, Book 1 by Adam Smith, The Problems of Philosophy by Bertrand Russell. So read some of these or look at the titles and see if you're interested in any of these. If you are, let's say you're interested in animal rights. If you choose the Singer article, it will take you to the portion of the document that has the Singer article. So you click here, and here is the article from Singer, and you read it and then present the argument that is in the article. If you chose the section from On Liberty by Mill, you would find the excerpt here. And so read the excerpt and then do the following. Identify the issue that is addressed in the argument. Explain the argument and identify the premises and conclusions of the argument, and then evaluate the argument. So if it is deductive or has a deductive component, is it valid and sound, and why? If the argument has an inductive component, is it strong or weak, and why? Remember that often arguments contain both inductive and deductive components. The second part of your final project is to create a counter-argument to the original argument. So what you need to do is present premises that support a counter-conclusion. Even if you agree with what the argument states, you need to take on the opposing position and then present your own argument using premises and factual evidence and logical reasoning that goes against, so a counter-argument goes against the original argument. So overall, this week, you will, in the final project, evaluate an argument that's presented in the final project argument options document. So only use one of these options. And then you'll evaluate that argument, and you will present your own counter argument in which you might necessarily have to play devil's advocate. Your final paper must be between 1,100 and 1,400 words in length, and you are given multiple options on how to satisfy this, the presentation of your argument of your final project. You can either write it in a paper, you can create a PowerPoint presentation, or you can create a video presentation. Be sure to read the instructions closely and follow all instructions in relation to the expectations of the final project. So that's week 5. You've made it to the end. Finish strong, and do your best to demonstrate your mastery of the course content. Good luck.